here's the mistake I think people make, especially amateurs or people that just turn pro. They think, oh, I need to take 2 years off. No, you don't. You do not need to take 2 years off from competing. I think you will improve more if you do compete every year, and I think maybe even every 10 months. I think 8 to 12 months time period, you should compete because because I mean, if you're winning the Olympia and you want to come back and defend your title, that's totally different. But these guys who turn pro or they're competing on the pro circuit and they're like, I'm going to take 2 years off. That's a massive mistake, right? For one, you're off the radar. Nobody's talking about you. Yeah. But not just that. I think when you go into a prep, even though you're in a calorie deficit for a few months, right? Your body is like a sponge, right? Your body, that rebound, it just wants to grow. And at that time, you know, I won't lie, I had a bad relationship with food. After I came off of a show, I just wanted to eat, and it was all I could do to not eat. So I was just eating and eating and training and eating and eating and training, doing more eating than training probably. but still, I love to be in the gym and train hard. And then, you know, I fueled that. And, you know, I didn't really hold back too much on the calories. I just let my body grow. And you got to be careful because, you know, your blood pressure and you want to stay as healthy as possible doing this. But like I said, the rebound from a show is the best time to grow and make improvements. And if you're taking 2 years off, not only are you not giving yourself that opportunity to rebound, but more than likely you're going to mentally check out. You're probably going to allow yourself a few months of just slacking off. And if you were to have, let's say 8 months, 10 months, 12 months, somewhere like that, okay, you have 3 months of an off season, and then you have a few months to prepare for a show. You don't have a big, you know, time frame to make improvements and then get ready for your next show. So you're gonna make every day count. Whereas if you're like, well, I have 2 years, I'll take this month off. I don't have to work as hard right now. It's okay, I got time. That's the difference.
Yeah, it makes sense. And it's interesting you're talking about this, Derek, because when you went to your first Olympia, you only did Olympias after that, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
What's the reason for this? Like,
well, each year I just took each year as they came, right? It was not a plan for me. Okay, I'm just going to do the Olympia. I went to the Olympia in 2017 after that.
Yeah.
And I placed top 5, which qualified me for the next year. I clearly needed to make improvements.
Right.
And so I had competed 3 times in 2017. In 2017 I competed 3 times.
3 times, yeah.
And then I was like, I want a full year to come back and I want to rival Flex Lewis. That was my idol at the time. I love the guy. And I was like, I want to beat my idol, you know? And so that was what motivated me. And so it didn't happen, right? So I went to the 2018 Olympia and Flex won. Okay, congratulations, champion. You know, like you're 7-time Olympia champion. It's okay to lose to a 7-time champion when it's your second year, right? You just had an outstanding first year, and like I couldn't complain really, you know. So that was 2018, and I said, okay, next year I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna win this thing. You know, no need to be distracted with anything else. Come back 2019, I'm gonna win. I got second. Oh my gosh.
Kamal
won that year.
Yeah.
And then 2020, everybody knows the year was crazy, right? We had the pandemic and all that stuff. So that was a really hard year for me too, after losing to Kamal. And then just in my own life, I had some struggles I was dealing with. I was in a really bad depression, and I didn't even want to be here anymore, to be honest. I was very depressed.
Wow.
Yeah. And that was the year, you know, I started getting closer to God. And thank God for that time. I mean, he allowed me to go through that depressed period trying to do it on my own, even though he was right there, you know. He just needed me to surrender to him, right? So thank God for that time, but it was very hard. And then we didn't know about the competitions, right? In 2020. So
if it would happen, if it would not happen.
Right. So then I came back in 2020, and I was the most downsized that I had been since 2017 when I turned pro. And so I think I weighed like 200, or I think it was like 203, pounds, 204 pounds, versus the 2 years before I was
Yeah.
barely making 212. So that was 2020. And then I was like, oh my gosh, like that was a rough year. And to be honest, I didn't know what was going to happen next. You know, I felt like I dropped the fourth, you know,
Yeah.
like, in your mind at this time, you start questioning yourself. You start thinking, oh, wow, like who's going to support me now? You have sponsors and like, are they going to still have your back?
Yeah.
I had been working with the coach I had at that time for several years. People were saying, you know, go with somebody that's more reputable, like a Chris Aceto or Hani Rambod or something like that. And I said, no. So after the 2020 Olympia, I thought, okay, like maybe I need to make a change. So I'm thinking I might lose sponsors, probably gonna have to switch coaches. Like, is this actually the last year I'm gonna compete?
Wow.
Yeah, like those things are running through your head. You're just like, oh my gosh, because second, fourth.
Nice.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I didn't look any better. I looked worse. And thank God, man, I went backstage at the Olympia that next day because the 212 was Friday. The finals for the Open was Saturday. I went backstage, was talking to some people back there, introduced me to Hani.
Yes.
I started working with Hani, and then we came back to 2021, won the 212. So it took
Yeah.
me 5 years, 5 years in the Olympia to win the 212. And so it wasn't like, oh, I'm just going to compete in the Olympia. It was like, I wanted that 212 Olympia title so
much.
bad
Yeah.
that I was just working all year to get it. And then I finally got it. And I had planned to retain the title, come back and defend it and retain the title. And then the guest posing in 2022
Yeah,
at Pittsburgh.
yeah.
People were like, all right, this guy's an open guy, you know? So that was when we switched to open, placed
Yeah.
in second. So, okay, now I place second the next year. I get a special invitation. I place second. What am I going to do? Am I going to compete or am I going to go try to win the Olympia again? So then the next year, 2023, win the Olympia, make history, get the People's Champ, first two division Olympia champion, 18th Mr. Olympia of all time. It's unbelievable,
Wow, yeah.
right? So again, what are you going to do? Are you going to go compete? Or are you going to go defend your title? There was some pressure for me to want to do the Arnold.
Yeah.
And I chose not to do that. You know, both years, 2023 and 2024.
Yeah.
You know, don't regret it. I think it was a great decision. Looking back,